Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still pushing, or at least consolidating just below resistance. And another high is still likely in the yellow count as I tried to prepare you in the previous video. I think have we actually made a new high today? I think so. Actually, it did push a little bit higher, but it hasn't really given us any signal that we were coming down. So we want to zoom in and take a look at that. And first of all, let's zoom out, take a look at the structure. There's a short-term bearish and short-term bullish scenario. You know about both of them. We discussed them both in previous videos. Let's start maybe with the short-term bearish case here for Bitcoin, which still allows for one more dip into the support area, but all within a still unfolding bullish scenario, just a wave 4 correction, which is obviously just a correction in a larger uptrend. Only below $50,700, I would need to change my perspective about Bitcoin to something more bearish. For now, this white count would be considered a WXY pattern, and the Y wave is an ABC structure. No, it's ABC. And in this scenario, we have an A wave down, which bottomed here around the 17th of April. You might have heard the dog in the background there. 17th of April, and then this is the A wave, okay? And then here, and this is now where it's getting extreme A wave up, overshooting B wave to the downside, C wave up. That's the only way for me really to give you a, let's say a decent short-term bearish scenario. I find that very likely, but it would be very bearish due to the overshooting B wave to the downside. The best count I've got due to the 3-wave move to the downside. The previous count I shared with you, I mean, we talked about this one here before, I just didn't have it on the chart. The previous one, it just did move too high for that. I took that off the chart, but it doesn't change anything from a practical point of view. Because it will be the next pullback that will be the stress test for any short-term bullish case. But in this scenario, yeah, in the Y wave, we have an A, B, C. So the C wave down, still very much realistic, okay? And then from there, hopefully this entire correction will finish there. But I have to say, an overshooting B wave to the downside isn't great because it is quite bearish. It's a lot of downside pressure. So hopefully the next move down will be the last one. But maybe we hold a higher low. That would be great. I mean, we'll talk about that now, but that is the short-term bearish count. The following is important for this count. It's important to understand that, yes, we have a 5-wave move up and we might get one more high in this 5-wave move up from the May low. But that doesn't really matter so much because even in the bearish count, the move up is a C wave in a B wave. So that means, yeah, I mean, the 5 up, at least they keep the door open for higher, but at the same time, it won't be until we get the first decent pullback that we can say, okay, we're holding a higher low and we've bottomed. So that means if we now see an impulse down or an ending diagonal down in wave C, then and we break below 58,175, then this is likely, the structure that takes us to one more low. And if it happened from here, but we might get one more high, as I said, if that happened from here, we can calculate the length of wave A, go to the high of the B wave. It might take us, if we push to maybe 65, maybe 66K to around about 54K, okay? So hopefully that will be the last low if we get one. A lot of altcoins could still do another low, no problem. So now let's take a look at the short-term bearish count. I don't have a very clear preference. For me, it will be decided here, okay, in the wave 2 support area. I find one more low very likely. Does it matter to me? Not really, because if there is one more low, I would buy. Would still be a dip. For lower prices, maybe the last dip in the bull run in the support area. If it goes from here, fine. Fine. The support area was already not only touched, but the price spent some time in that area. Whenever that happens, we expect the price to rally at any point and it could easily go up higher. But the structure from a risk management point of view still allows for one more low. But we are close to a decision because if we really bottomed here, and by the way, I don't have a very clean bottoming structure. It will only be possible as a WXY, and then the Y wave is another WXY, highly unreliable. Yeah. It did not have a clean bottoming structure. Looking at the bigger picture, yes, but not in the micro. Okay, so then looking at the nano structures here, we have a possible 5-wave move up. As I said in the last video, we might get one more high, and then it could push into the 65, 66K region. There's going to be some resistance up there in the mid 60K region. And then from there, and I would have to adjust the support area if we push a little higher. By the way, there is an inverse head and shoulders pattern as well. So it could, maybe it's just going to escalate completely. We'll see, but I can tell you that I still cannot confirm that a low is in place until we see a clean 1-2 setup. So if in any pullback it's holding that support area, I will assume it bottomed in yellow, in the yellow count. It doesn't need to do a pullback. There is no must, you know, but at some point, yeah, but it might just extend a bit higher before it does it. So that's why I highlighted to you in the previous video, I need to see a break below 62,980 minimally as a first indication that the top is in place. Below that we have 62,580. All of that would not be confirmation that we are, so not that the low is in place, that the wave 2 has started. None of that would be a confirmation that the wave 2 has started, but early indication because we're taking out previous swing lows. Still though, I need to see more downside pressure to say we've started wave 2. At the moment we haven't, okay? So it could still give us, and I'm leaning to one more high here in wave 5. But if that's the case, I have to adjust the support area slightly. So hopefully that's clear. That means at the moment one more low is still very likely, but if we see a pullback into the support area and it's holding higher low, it's stabilizing there, I will assume we've bottomed. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.